Here we're going to talk about actually using the software. Now, when you are on your payroll project in Chapter 7, you're going to come to a page where it says Start a Payroll Project. And it's going to say number 1, the first payroll. It's going to talk about preparing a payroll for the next few pages by hand. But as soon as you see something talking about preparing a payroll, you are going to go instead to Appendix A, to where it says that same date payroll. So the first payroll we're going to do is the October 9th payroll. So you would go to page A-2 to the October 9th payroll, and it'll tell you step by step. As soon as you get done with inputting that payroll, you go back to Chapter 7 to see what's for the next day, because the appendix only has the payrolls and not the other stuff. Now, another thing I'm going to mention is that on the first page of the appendix, there is a computerized accounting user's guide. They talk about here that you can get on CengageBrain.com, and that will discuss installing software, getting the software, and getting yourself set up with the software if you're going to do this at home. Of course, we have it available in H601. The version in H601 may not be exactly the same year version that you have to work at home, and so you will need to choose whether you're going to work at home or you're going to work in H601. You won't be able to go back and forth. Okay, so we have gotten then to where it says in the appendix, Start a Payroll Project. That's in Chapter 7, and so we went to the appendix A2 where it says October 9th payroll. And it's step 1, remove the student project audit test. Now, it's going to tell you to do that, and you do not need to do that. That's one thing you can completely ignore. Another thing you can completely ignore is when you get to the step where it talks about making a labor distribution graph. Those two things on the steps you can completely ignore. Okay, so we go to step 2. Start up the payroll accounting software. And it says page UG2. The UG refers to the user's guide. I've not really found that I needed the user's guide for anything, but if you do, as I said, you can go on CengageBrain.com and get the user's guide. Okay, and so it says we need to start up the software. Step 3, we need to load our opening balances template file, and there's going to be 2 files. One that says payroll file 2014 and one that says payroll file short version. You are not using the short version, and so you will be opening up the regular payroll file. And step 4 is to enter your name in the username textbook, etc. And step 5 tells us to enter the employee maintenance data, and it says click on the accounts toolbar button. So it tells us step by step exactly what we need to click on. So if you have these pages in front of you as I go through the payroll, then you can see exactly what to do. I have the payroll here open, and I'm going to click on the open button, and here's the regular version and the short version. Now, I already modified the regular version for this video, so for right now, to show you something, I'm going to go into the short version, but you are going to end up opening, sitting at your computer, you're going to open the payroll, the regular payroll file. When you do that, you're going to get this box that says your name. And so, so you would put your name in it and click OK. Now all these buttons are in color and you can actually do things. And so the next thing it told us is that we have to make a change to the employee list. And it tells us to click on the accounts button, which is right here. There's two tabs here. The accounts, which is our chart of accounts with all the list of our accounts and their account number, and the employees, which has all the basic employee information. We have to now go to this one that says student, and then you're going to put your name in it in capital letters, just like they have all the other last names, and then comma and your first name, not in. Okay? Once you get that in, you're not going to change anything else. You're not changing the marital status, the number of allowances, or anything that they have set up. Otherwise, you're going to end up with messed up stuff. You're only changing that name, and you're going to click on Change Employee. Okay? And then we're done with this, and you're going to click on Close. Now we need to actually put in the payroll. And if you look on page A2, it shows you all the employees and all the payroll information that you need to plug this in. We're going to click on this payroll button, and you're going to see on your screen, you're going to see September 30th of maybe 2013. And you'll have all the employees listed, including yourself, and and then you're going to have these amounts, and they're going to be kind of large amounts for September 30th, because what they've done is they've taken January 1st all the way to September 30th, compressed them into one number, and plugged it in as if it was that one payroll, was all of their cumulative stuff. Okay, that's just for them to get the numbers in there. You're going to go down to the bottom of that. You're going to ignore all that September 30th stuff. Our payroll that we're putting in is an October 9th. Now, when you go down here, you're going to see down where I have 11/20/11, you're going to see 9/30 of maybe 13 or maybe 12. Okay, and our first step is to change that date. So you're just going to, you see the little blinking arrow, we're just going to put 1009, and you can leave the year. And then you're going to click over in the employee name empty box that goes next to it. As soon as you do that the first time for that new payroll, it's going to come up with this box with the voluntary deductions. And it wants to know union dues, group insurance, and simple plan. Union dues are usually come out the first payroll of each month, and group insurance comes out the last payroll of each month, and the simple plan comes out at some other point in time. And so it's going to tell you in the appendix page, so right on A2, it tells you for this payroll that we do want to check the union dues, but we do not want to check group insurance or simple plan this time. And so we just check whatever it tells us and click OK. Now I'm ready to actually put the employees and their amounts in. So I go to the first employee, I click the down arrow, I find the first employee, Anthony Bono, okay, and get his name in there. Now you can look on page A2 and you see that Anthony Bono is a factory hourly worker. He does not get a salary. He gets hourly time. And so we have to put in there how many hours did he have for his regular hours, his overtime time and a half, and his overtime double. Now, in this particular case for October 9th, he only had regular hours, 80 hours. This is a bi-weekly payroll, so he worked 2 weeks at 40 hours apiece. So we go to the regular hours column and put the 80 in there. We also have to go to the union dues column. Now, your union dues column is going to show $72, and that is just a bundle from January 1st to now. So you want to make sure that you change that to $8. Okay? Now, once you've got that done, all the rest of these deductions is going to be calculated by the software. You simply click this button that says Calculate Taxes. Everything is calculated for you. Do notice there's a SUTA tax that's coming out of the employee. Most states, only the employer has to pay SUTA, just like FUTA. But in some states, and this is Pennsylvania, and they're one of the states where they also take out a little bit of SUTA from the employee. The employer pays most of it, but the employee has to pay a little bit of their own SUTA. Okay? Now, I'm done with Anthony Bono, and so I click OK. Now it's going to bring up the same date, so I don't need to change the date again. I simply go to the employee name. I bring up the next employee, James Claude Ferguson. Okay? Now, James Claude Ferguson, you see on page A-2, has a salary. So all I need to do is click on the salary button. It brings up his salary. If there's any change, it will tell you on that appendix page what you need to do to change it. Okay? But his is just the same. And union dues are only paid by hourly workers in the factory. Now, you are an hourly worker in the office, so you do not pay union dues. Only Anthony and then Norman Ryan pays, because the two of them are hourly workers in the factory. And now, administrative people are generally paid with a salary, and so they do not pay union dues because they're part of management. And so all we have to worry about is the salary being in there, and then we click Calculate Taxes. We're done. We click OK. Okay? And so you will go on putting in the rest of those people's, all the rest of the employees, and either you put in their hours. There's 3 people with hours, and the rest of them are all salary. All right. Now I'm going to okay, now I'm back into that full payroll file, and here is my October 9th payroll all completed. So I'm all done at this point. So once you're done, you can click on Close. And you're going to want to do the journal entries, and so we will talk about the journal entries in Payroll Project Part 3 video. But I do want to just mention that you are going to go into Reports, Payroll Report, say OK, and you're going to want to hit Print, and you're going to want to print this out, or if you can save it as a PDF or something like that. You need this every single time you do payroll. If you go on and do the next payroll, you've lost this. Okay? And so you want to print this payroll report out for every single time you do a paycheck. You want this payroll report printed out.